Welcome to Innovation Hub of Macho's platform. I am Eze Thomas Chinedu, reaching you from Rome. And with me to anchor this section is Ijeoma Okeahialam, co-anchoring directly from Germany. Ije, how is Germany today?
Well, we are fine here. We're all doing well. We have a good weather, so it's quite sunny.
Okay, I learned it's raining seriously in Owerri and also raining heavily in Lagos.
And how is your own weather there?
It's okay. We are only busy praying for tempers to calm in Imo State, especially to restore security and allow people to do their daily jobs. Once again, you're welcome to the Macho's platform of the Innovation Hub of FUTO Alumni Body Lagos branch. IJ, Federal University of Technology, Owerri, is one of the foremost universities of technology in Nigeria and the first in Southeast, South-South to the jaws of the Niger. It is the glory land where Machos are developed and built, then released into the Nigerian workforce to create disrupting innovative society. And with us today are the heavyweights, the founding fathers, pioneer sets that restored FUTO. Join me to welcome Andrew Ejayeriese.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. And nice seeing you guys looking healthy and smiling.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you run down the profile of our guest today so that we'll roll it off?
Yeah, thank you for that. Dr. Andrew Ejayeriese is an erudite expatriate in oil and gas, a seasoned geophysicist, a broad administrator, an innovative icon par excellence. He was a one-time alumni chairman and national president, one of the pillars behind our famous iHub, FUTO iHub. And he's currently nominated to represent the alumni body, that's the Machos at the University Governing Council. Once more, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Doc, a lot has been said about you, and we welcome you greatly for this interview. So we will ask you a few questions and see your view. We know your capacity. We are going to seek your opinion on certain areas we are expecting you to deliver again, just like you delivered in the iHub. So IJ, can you start with the few questions we have for Doc?
Okay. Sir, you were the Lagos chapter chairman and the national president of the alumni, if I'm correct, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, so I would like to know, we would like to know rather, what was the most interesting experience working as a leader of the Alumni Association?
Well, let me start by first of all thanking all of you for giving me this opportunity to participate in this interview. More importantly, seeing that this is being anchored by the younger generation. So it shows that at least if for nothing, there are certain things that we are doing well. The younger ones are growing up and they are taking on the mantle of leadership. So talking about my experience as a Lagos chairman and the national president, I came into the Lagos branch chairman at a time when there was a lot of impasse in Lagos. I'm sure Ndukwe that is with me today can attest to that. The association was divided. There was no unionism. There were basically about 2 or 3 camps, and there was a need to bring in harmony. So somehow, by divine intervention, I will say, my colleagues deemed me worthy to be the individual that will come as a neutral person to try to bring both schools together. And thankfully, we were able to do that successfully. And then we grew the alumni body. And eventually, I went on to become the president. But I'll tell you, one of the very interesting things that I brought to bear was that before then, I was already in the oil and gas industry. I was already a manager, so I had a lot of some managerial skills. So I know how to groom people and how to bring people together to achieve some results. So that was very evident in some of the things that I did. I know a lot of people will say I did very well, but I can tell you, those who were in my administration will know that I walked through people a lot. Essentially, once we have the officers in place, we always encourage individuals to take up their responsibility and take it seriously. And we try to set some milestone, a little bit of KPI, knowing where everybody are coming from different culture. But in our system, we work by annual KPI and we review them regularly. So we're able to set up some, what are the targets that we really want to achieve and how are we going to go about it? So we brought a lot of us together and people were very supportive. We raised a lot of money. We did a lot of socials coming together during Christmas time. We did a lot of welfare system, visiting people who were bereaved in one way or the other. And at a point, we were also doing a Valentine, if you can remember, we're going for Valentine dinner. Trying to make sure that you bring in your wife and children to bring people together because we now have those opportunities to wine and come together. So all of those activities really endanger people and brought them together. So I reach out to my colleagues, especially those of our generation, telling them that we have a responsibility to build the alumni and make it healthy. So we champion a lot of programs that will interest a lot of people. And that's how we're able to build on it. And people catch on it. We set up a lot of committees. And once I set up those committees, usually what I do, I ask them to own it. Really go come out and tell us how you really want to do that. So a lot of people felt, that self-ownership. So everybody was doing his own part. And because in a group like that, the larger the merrier. I make sure everybody has a part to play. So they will not just be an onlooker, a few people just making a decision. So it was more of a participatory approach, having everybody doing their hobby. So I have a lot of subcommittees set up, led by different group of people. The ESCO was there. I remember the ESCO were meeting in my house regularly. They would come. Sometimes we stayed till 9, we stayed till 10. It was very fun. And then at a point in time, because we wanted to bring some limelight, we now introduced what we call this FUTO biannual lecture series, where we talked about the technological fast tracking. And we started the media edition with Lagos. That also sent us into Nigeria. A lot of ways people get interested, and we broadcast our letter. And I'm sure we held that about 2 or 3 times. And then the first one we held it at Museum Center, but subsequently we went to the Institute of International Affairs, and it actually became a Nigerian affair. So those were the things: challenging people, starting school, forming a lot of committees, making sure that they have their own sense of belonging, and putting some KPI to say this is how we want to achieve. And believe me, not that time money was not really a problem. The other thing that I brought in was the issue of integrity and credibility. There was a lot of transparency in accounting, making sure that every kobo that was brought into the alumni was accounted for. And it was very transparent. So people could see what their money was being used for. I mean, there was nothing behind the scene. We raise money, or we finish raising money, we give an account very quickly. We don't waste time, because one of the things is that once you finish an event and it takes 2-3 months, people begin to create some data. But as soon as events are over, the accounts are all there for everybody to take a look at. So those were really some of the things that we did. And I thank you to people like the Ndukwe, Emeka, Felix Chuku, and all the others, that all came and that really came and said, this is what we needed to do. And I think that was why I tell you it was a success.
Wow, that's a great one. In fact, I am double wowed because I've heard of this great event when going through the vetting of the iHub. I heard so much about you. As an undergraduate, I kept hearing them making mention of you and Professor Oba and Ndukwe every time there is a convocation or there is a matriculation going on. They never cease singing the praises of three of you as great martyrs of FUTO emerging from glory land. We have seen your leadership capacity, both as alumni chair, global geophysicist for decades. Now, going into the council, what leadership style will you be taking along with you?
Okay, you will know that if you understand the structure of the university, don't forget also, I've been a senior management staff in my company for over 15 years. So, so when you talk about boardroom politics, I'm not neutral to some of those. There's nothing that you do that you have everybody agree 100%.
Okay.
So one of the things I'll bring to bear if I get into the council, one is my integrity, and I can vouch for that. I go to sleep every day and I snore very well. Because when I look at the facts, I do my things based on facts. And what I usually tell people, if you have a compelling facts that is better than the one I have, put it on the table and then we talk about it. At the end of the day, we can align. I never say I'm going into a meeting and say it must be my idea. No. So when I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there with my own pedigree. Some of the things I will do, like I've discussed with Ndukwe, I will ask for what are the governing structure of the university. Give me the process documents. For example, what's the process for promoting lecturers? What's the process for budgeting? What is the process, for example? There must be a bidding process for your contracts and data. Everything has a process. It's a university. So I will lay my hands on those process documents, first of all. And one of the things I will ensure, if I'm a member, is to just say, hey guys, these are the rules. Except they are modified. If they've not been modified, this is the latest, we just have to work by this rule. Some of them might not be perfect, but those are the governing structures. So we have to follow it. That is the first line of being very objective and be fair to everybody. So that when the criteria is known, you take everybody through it. So it's the same filter, whether you are A, B, C, D, E, it doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, once the output is there, it will be clear to everybody. You can throw it out. Anybody can do it, also come with the same result. So that's one of the things I will do. The other thing, like I said, I will do first of all, I will ask for what are your previous audits. The university is a big organization. They must be conducting audits, like every organization. There's what you call money audit, and there are process audits. Sometimes your processes might be very weak. The auditors will say, you need to fine tune these areas. The reason why we ask for that document is to be able to help. If they have identified some process gap in the past, audit gap, what have we done to try to close that gap, to try to enhance the system? I mean, that has not been done. Those are some of the things that I will help them work. So I will also find out from them if they do indeed set what they call an annual KPI for themselves. So how does the university rate itself among the best in the world? Where have you done a situational analysis, for example, of yourself and say, given where we are after this number of years, if we analyze based on structure, based on academic, based on program, based on how your students are performing, I mean, the different categories, how are you? Now, if you do that and you tell yourself the truth, okay, and you said, okay, in the next 2-3 years, this is where I want to be. What are those things that must be done that will enable us to get in there? I mean, in business, we call them critical key enablers. Some of them might just be networking. Some of them might involve processes. Some of them might involve money. Everything is not money. And then transparency is also very important. Capacity building. Now, the lecturer has really been brought up to speed because these days we are moving so fast in terms of technology. How well are we prepared? Sometimes I still feel grinch when I cannot even send an email, to somebody in FUTO, and then they will be able to respond to the email in 2-3 minutes or 1 hour after that. So IT-wise, we need to bring them up. And one thing that I tell you that when I'm going, what thing that will be at the back of my mind is for the upliftment of the university. Make the place better than when I get in there. That will be my focus.
You see, we are not in doubt of your capacity. We are rather looking at the ability of people who you are going to meet with to adapt to your skills, strength, and your global acquired leadership tenacity. We know what we can do. We have seen what you've done in the National Association of Petroleum and yes, we've seen what you've done there. We have seen your contribution in building the iHub and seen that it stands to what it is today. And today is offering a platform whereby we are tapping into your qualities and your experiences. Before I shift over to IJ, my co-anchor, to give one or two questions, I want to get in a way whereby upcoming FUTOites will be able to look up and say, this is the skill, this is the strength that Dr. Andrew introduced to the council, or this is what we look forward to be his skills that he's going to impart to the council when it comes to the alumni body. What will be the strength, the skill you will deploy to making the university management give better ear, better attention to her alumni resources?
Okay, definitely, no man is an island. So I have to walk this through people and also work with whoever that is there. One of my management style, what I always tell people is that the strength of any team is as good as how strong the weakest person is.
Okay.
It's just like when you look at your football team, for example, you try to ask yourself, where is the weakest link? And if you identify the weakest link and are able to make that weakest link very strong, you become a very good, formidable team. So in other words, in every team, everybody is not the same. People are going to come with their different strengths. It's not going to be in doubt that I'm coming from a private sector. So I have a private sector background. Like you said, I have led NAPE as the president and also as the president. So I've worked with different people. And usually everybody have their own different culture. The university have their own culture. SMOB as a company has a culture. The alumni body may have their own culture. Wherever you work as an individual, you have your own culture of the organization. So those different cultures will come to play. And so you examine the backgrounds of those people. That's the first thing I will do. Look at where they are coming from, where they have worked, look at their profile. So I can assess to a large extent what I will expect. And based on that, I will identify for myself that these are likely the areas that I'm going to have problems, these are likely the areas I'm going to have cooperation. And so the ones that you are going to have compression, you call those one easy wins. So you table them, you get it done. But the area that you think you're going to have some challenges, then you build what you call a management strategic coalition. So you identify who are the people that are likely going to be the most stubborn block in those meetings. So you engage them one-on-one. Most times meetings are not done at the meetings venue. You do what you call an offline engagement, and those are the strengths. It's okay. These are the issues that we are coming to discuss in the next 1 week. For example, this is the way I see it. How do you see it? And I tell you, I saw it this way based on this reason. I would like to hear you. So I will have those offline discussions with a lot of my members as much as possible to ensure that before we go for the meetings, we would have fleshed out, some of the sharps and make sure that we know where the meet is so that when we go there, we'll be able to get this done. But having this disagreement is also very important. You see, in management, the ability to say no is actually a strength. Most times it's very easy to say yes. Like I always tell people, if I need you in a position to say yes, I might as well go and get a school sad boy and put him there, because when you come, you say yes. I say approve, right? Take and go. That's easy. It is when you are going to resist, for example, or say, I do not believe in this. I think this is a better option. That's where the challenge really comes. So you must be able to negotiate. So you negotiate in management, negotiate your positions, without wavering on your integrity to ensure that you get to where you are going. Sometimes it might not be one meeting. You might say, okay, it looks like the atmosphere is not right. The right thing to do was to strategically shut the meeting down. You disagree and you go home and sleep. Everybody goes back, put on your sleeve, and you come back at the next meeting. Maybe at that time, there'll be better focus, would have time to reflect about it and think about it. So some of those, my management skills, I'm going to bring them to play. I will prepare before the meeting. I can tell you that to ensure that there is a clear agenda before we go for a meeting. So you bring it forward. So if you are bringing things for consideration, I will do my homework, read about it, make sure that I'm knowledgeable, be able to ask questions, and only put my hand to pen on anything that I think will positively uplift the universities. So that's only some of the things that I'll bring in. I will work with them. I can imagine there are probably going to be some subcommittee. If I'm happy to be a leader of a subcommittee, I will do my best. Even if I'm not a member of other committees and I have an input, I will submit my input to the committee, as I say. And then I will reach back, because this position is representing both the academic staff, non-academic staff, and the alumni. So I will reach this community too, to try to find out what are those areas that are really critical for you. Okay, I will also ask the alumni body, what are those things that are critical for you? One I can think very quickly is the issue of transcript. It's been there for all these years. I've noted it down. If I have the opportunity to get in there, I mean, if I spend 5 years there and I don't get that solved, then I consider that a failure. That issue must be resolved. There is no going back about it. If we need an IT, we need to get the IT. If it's a people issue, we need to train the people or change the staff. You know, a lot of those things can be done. Like I said, my management strength, cooperation, negotiation, look at the facts and make decisions based on facts and not hearsay. And anything that I say, like I told you, that is not going to bring you to the university, you can certainly cut me out. I will not be part of that. And there will be transparency in all that I do.
Great skills to emulate. For me, my heart is blown up. I am filled with joy hearing these skills and strength from you. I think for now, my question is exhausted for you. I don't know if IJ will have other questions to put to you, but I'm convinced. I know other photoites will also be convinced with this word from another. IJ, over to you. IJ, are you there?
Did we lose her?
Sorry, no, I'm here. I was actually on mute, so I've unmuted myself now.
Okay.
I've been glued because it has been very interesting. So I'm really motivated with your wealth of knowledge and how your passion and dedication to everything you put into in everything you do in life. I'm really, really encouraged. And I've also learned one or two things from what you said. It's good to build upon people to achieve results. It's very, very good. And the negotiation too is very, very good to adopt as a strategy. So going forward, sir, in a nutshell, sir, I would like to know the vision you bring into as a member of the council. Yeah, in a nutshell, the vision you're bringing into the council.
It's interesting. A lot of you did not start with us in Lake Wimberry. Every time I have opportunity to talk to the group, I always remember my admission number, and I mention it to people. That is 81/00148. That's my admission number for FUTO. So in Lake Wimberry, things were near perfect, so to speak. Even though we operated in a campus that was meant for weary girls in those days, when the university was created, they were not able to move in there. So we moved into the campus temporarily. And I think we stayed there for a very long time. There are a lot of things. The vision of the school originally at the beginning, when I look at the school today, I'm afraid most of it has been lost. That's what I'm saying. And I hope my impression can be proved wrong when I get into the council. That's what I hope. Because when the school started, if you people go back, it was supposed to be a very specialized institution that were offering courses that were not readily available in those days in Nigeria. For example, I had a degree in applied geophysics, right? So if you look at the Nigerian university, even in most universities worldwide, you don't offer applied geophysics at first degree. Applied geophysics usually are done at master's level, and we did it for 5 years. So having graduated, I've been able to compete very strongly. So at that time, the academic standards were very high. When I say very high, very, very high. We were proud to be FUTO students. I mean, that time when you are saying you are in FUTO, people look at you and they really say, wow, these are the nugget heads. We had lecturers almost from everywhere in the world. There was diversity in the lecturership. There was diversity in the students' population. So when we were there, about 5 minutes to when a class will finish, you will see the next lecturer waiting at the door for the lecturer that is teaching to go away. Okay? When we do tests, within the next 2-3 days, the result of our test is out. When you write the exam, in another 2-3 days, your result is out. You don't have to wait. Not to talk of people waiting to get their results. I can't imagine it. When we graduated, our certificate was given to us in a scroll. As we were leaving, as we were queuing up to have a handshake, our certificate were inside our scroll. And I know a lot of the universities abroad still do that today. So one of the things I will try to do, and that will be my vision, and there will be a lot of collaboration. We need to get back to that very quickly. Students on graduation should have a copy of their certificate.
Wow.
There should be no reason for people to try to come back to be looking for certificate. As a matter of fact, in most of the university abroad, if you do not attend the convocation ceremony, the graduation ceremony, they will ask you for an address where your certificate should be mailed, and it will be mailed. It will be mailed with either a FedEx or DHL, and you confirm receipt. So my vision in going to that council, if I get in there, is to find a way to bring back the university to what the university is supposed to be. Encourage lecturers to attend classes and teach. Lecturers need to refresh themselves. I will encourage the management to also diversify the academic staff. It's very important because in those days we have lecturers from Germany, we have from Japan, we have from the US, we have from Yoruba, we have from Hausa, we have from Igbo. So you could see a cluster of diversity of lecturers, talented. You know, diversity is very, very important because there's no particular individual group of people that have the habitat of knowledge. So you must get those diversity across so that at the end of the day, you'll be having a cross-fertilization of ideas and it can only make the university stronger. So those are the things that I really look forward to, that when we have a semester of 3 months, a semester of 3 months will be 3 months. I can't do anything about the strikes. That is not within my purview. But if sessions are on, lecturers must go to class. They need to teach. If they are supposed to set 2 tests, they should set the 2 tests. If they write exam, the exam results should be out on time. And the other thing I'm looking forward to, which is making sure that when people apply for transcript, once it is paid for, it should be a non-issue. So if they are having administrative issue or registration within the structure, within the registry, that is making it very cumbersome or difficult to do that, we'll find a way to bring technology to enable all those and take away all this cumbersome. Nobody carry files all around these days. If the university is highly automated, the VC can grant approval anywhere. In my company, I have my company phone that I carry all over the place 24/7. If I'm in Nigeria, I'm in Ghana, I'm in US, wherever I am in the world, if I'm not in the office and there's really something for me to approve, I can approve it anywhere. I don't have to be in the office. So the management staff should be at that level. So really, those are my premium vision. I call them premium because I'm looking back to the early days, what the founding fathers really wanted the university to be. I'm afraid I may have a wrong impression that we're losing some of them, but we need to find a way to, in my organization, there's what we call core values. Those core values, regardless of what you do, those are the foundation of the company. Not even the CEO or the chairman of the company can change those things. They stand sacrosanct and everybody must obey. And so those foundational core values of FUTO must be restored. And I expect that everybody will stand up by them because that's what makes us who we are. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful answers to our questions. So I hand over to my co-anchor, Chinedu Eze.
Wow, Dr. Andrew Ejayeriese, the great ancestor we have in the alumni. I am so impressed. I am so impressed to hear of the mention of the transcript, the return of the glory to FUTO, to hear about the certificate being given as at Wendu, to hear of so many other things, and most importantly, your inclusiveness agenda. I understand it can be lonely being alone in the council as an alumni, but from what you have given this night, I think having the consultative agenda is going to go a long way to helping these dreams come to reality. We can't but wish you a successful impact, a successful representation, a continuation and a consolidation of what our able Ndukwe have done prior to now. I believe with this agenda listed here today, with this vision and vigor, I believe strongly that haven't seen the iHub come to life and serving humanity today, I'm very much certain that each item you mentioned here is already a reality with the people you have surrounded yourself with. Once again, thank you. And we are grateful to honor this session with the Macho platform of the Innovation Hub.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So on these notes, I would say grateful ties we present to you your choice, Dr. Andrew Ejayeriese. So stay tuned further as we beam the light to hear the words of Sir Ndukwe Osogho Ajala. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
So we are going to start off immediately with our next icon in the person of Sir Ndukwe Osogho Ajala, OON, the man who is giving a lot of FUTOites insights and inspiration to do things with their hands. An industrialist, somebody whom I read his book and I felt like starting afresh. A man whom, when you encounter, you must see one thing that you apply to your life and be a better person. At this juncture, we want to have one or two opinions from you, having learned that you have been to where Sir Andrew is going. We want to have one or two questions with him. So please welcome to the podium Sir Ndukwe OON, one of the strongest alumni of the FUTO community. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Ike, are you
You're
there?
welcome, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
So you're going to be, we just have 2 or 3 questions to Ndukwe, and we allow him focus with his management team, because he works almost every day.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so I'm really delighted to see you here, sir. Yeah, because the last time was those days when I used to come for alumni meet in Lagos. So I'm so happy and excited to see you here again, sir. So, sir, going further to the questions we have for you, sir, you were in the council, the FUTO Governing Council. Sir, please, we'd like you to tell us a little bit about the revered body and what they do there actually. Thank you.
Thank you, Ije and Chinedu. Always a delight meeting you, especially the iHub. Ije, it's also nice to see your face. I remember I spoke to you on phone some time ago. Now I'm seeing the Ije in Germany, a place I consider correct. My third home.
Wow, that's interesting
Yes.
to know, sir.
Yes, I like the Germans because of precision and the level of work they do. But going straight to our topic this night, may I use this opportunity to thank Andrew Ejayeriese. It's always a delight to listen to him, even on a private level. The knowledge he exhibits is unbelievable. So I, just like as we were listening to him, I was also listening and learning from him as well. The council is the highest body of a university, just like board of directors. They have the final say. In other words, the visitor of the university, that's the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, has vested his power in the council. So they have the power to recruit and fire and make decisions on behalf of the visitor of the university. So it is a very important body, and it's not a body you send just your second 11. It must be the first 11, and you must send their best. And I want to thank FUTO for giving me the opportunity to serve in such a body. I learned a lot from the place. It's a place where you make decisions that can affect the university. The quality of the graduate you see starts from that point. Because if you make a right decision in the sense of how you admit students, the end product can be predicted from it. I would like to chip in there that FUTO has rich course content. And that is why we're still producing good graduates. By the time you go through it, whether it delivered well or not delivered well, you'll be a better material. Unfortunately, like Andrew observed, and I observed during my tenure, a lot has gone wrong. So much water has gone under the bridge. So what do we do there? That is where, just like you have in the board meetings, intrigues, pressure, but the right decision must be made according to the rules. It is an environment where you must follow the rule. If not, you might run into a big problem. The ESC could wait for you. The government could come after you. Wrong decision could be made that will affect the entire university. Remember, the life of the professors and the students somehow depends on what comes out of that council meeting. So it is a place where integrity should come first. Knowledge should come second. You must be financially disciplined. You must not be bought over. You can easily be bought over. And then you make a decision that 20, 30 years after, you continue to regret it. So it is a very essential place where you must have all it takes to go in. And I'm very convinced that quality of candidate like Andrew already have been prepared for position like this. And remember, the board, the council consists of politicians, state representative, federal representative from NUC, Federal Minister of Education, then the Senate, the Congress, the convocation. Now, a little bit of the convocation. Convocation happened to be one of the strongest representation you have in the council, because you are representing the alumni. The alumni are actually the owners of the university. And that's the earlier we realize this is the truth. We are the owners of the university. Every other person will go, but the alumni remains there because it's our interest that should come first. Then the lecturers and the graduates, because there may be graduates that may not want to belong to the alumni, but they are FUTO graduates. So you are representing them. So you carry, just like in the, if you go to AGM, if you mention Ndukwe, what counts is how many shares do I own, multiplied by my number of votes. And that's why you see the chairman will decide what happens in the meeting if he has 70% of the voting. But in this case, the convocation is such a powerful body. Again, the convocation, because of the alumni content, is one representative you can bank on. The politicians, their interest may be one leg inside, one leg outside. The lecturers somehow is fighting for one position or the other. So the interest of the university may not matter so much to him. The only person, if we succeed in having the council, that you can guarantee really is the alumni in council representing the convocation. Because at the end, he will say, this is my university. It cannot be like this. I want the best ranking. So in a nutshell, that's just a little out of what I can mention right now because of time constraint.
Wow, thank you very much, sir, because it's really interesting to know how strong this the governing council it is when it comes to the university. Yeah, and also the aspect of the alumni and how important and how the weight it carries as regards to the university as an institution. Okay, so what would you say about the process of selecting the alumni candidates in this case?
I think we should give thanks to those who had the wisdom to follow the constitution of FUTO alumni. If for a member to represent us in the council, must go through the convention, and then you go through the whole process, which is highly representative. And based on that, you will be able to select quality person that can go there. And if who follows that through, we will always have somebody knowledgeable, determined, that has all it takes to be in that place. So the process is quite good. Like Andrew said, it is not just the knowledge alone. The process must be right. And I think the process was very correct, was quite good in selecting who will represent us in the council. I was there during the selection and he followed the whole process.
Wow. Oh, that's very good, sir. And
yeah.
It's good to know that the right process we actually followed. And so, sir, thank you for your presence. And before we end, we'd like you to tell us a little bit of what you know about the candidate, Dr. Andrew Ejayeriese.
Okay, thank you for that question. But before I say something about Andrew, governing structure is key in the council, and that is like a foundation. Just like it is, corporate governance is relevant in building a company. The governing structure must be built. I think that's where we're having problem. The structure has not been properly led, the governing structure. And we need somebody with the kind of knowledge he has from a #1 company in the world to lay that structure. And he mentioned something in the passing. FUTO need to attract a good auditing firm like KPMG, Ernst & Young, and the rest of them to be auditing them, because he has a lot to say about the university and in terms of transparency. And having said that, I think Andrew possesses all the qualities you need. I've worked with him. I have never been an executive of the Alumni, but I can tell you that most of the time I'm co-opted to work with the alumni, especially when we're organizing the biannual lecture. It takes a lot to organize that kind of program and bring such caliber of people to attend. And if they don't see you being transparent, they will not participate. He mentioned that money was not an issue. Once you run a transparent system, money will come out. The only reason why people don't bring their money to support you is when they are not sure you can account for it. So during his tenure, people were bringing money. It was so easy for people to say, we need 10 million naira. And we'll call a few people. And then because, like he said, representation, he would like carrying everybody along. We'll still encourage those who will contribute 5,000, 10,000 to. But the main thing must have been settled by few people who believe in that vision. And at the end, account will be rendered. And then there will be savings. That is what it is. The process must be, from the beginning to the end, must be conclusive. It is not something that at the middle of the whole program, you can no longer understand what has been done. So Andrew possesses the knowledge, knows how to set up a structure. He did that in Lagos, he did that in the national level. Until today, that is one of the reasons why Lagos is still standing and the national body is still standing. It is the structure. So once the structure is properly set out in the FUTO Council, others, one way or the other, will follow. Once there is transparency, the university will grow. Because like he mentioned, there will be several committees. And if he representing convocation, surely he will hold a very important committee where the lecturers will not hold, where politicians will not hold. But you need somebody who believes in the university to hold it. So that is why we need someone like him. Also, you need a man who can stand pressure and say no. Like he said, the greatest admiration of a top manager is ability to say no, even if your wife is involved. Because you don't want to set precedent. You don't want to set record that you cannot defend in future. So ability to say no is important. To say yes, anybody can say yes, yes. But to say no and look at you and say no is so important. And look at the VC and say no. Look at the Pro-Chancellor and say no. Look at other council members and say no. Even if he's the only one, even if he's the only lone voice, ability to stand and say no is critical. And the much I know Andrew, working with him in the alumni, being a friend from the days of FUTO, and in so many things we have come together to do, I know he has the ability to say no. Again, being objective, not always that people become objective. There will be a lot of sentiments. Being objective is key. Most people take decision on the basis of sentiments than on the basis of logic. And I think, having known him, he will prefer to take decision based on logic or objectivity as against sentiments. Because when the chips are down, it's coming from an environment where his tenure will be reviewed by those who put him there, who nurtured him. Again, he has also mentioned something. During my time, I used to report back to people like Andrew, Felichuku, Victor Ije, and ask, what is your opinion? Do you think this is the right way to go? And based on what we'll hear, we'll go back again. If we have a representation in the council, we will know what is going on there and it will put people on check. If we are not lucky to have one, then we are in trouble. And I would also like to add here, since you gave me this opportunity, convocation, we should make every effort to have external alumni member to represent us. What is my reason? Internal council members, FUTO alumni internal council members, will not be able to speak in presence of their VC. It takes a lot of God to do that. But an external council member that his bread is not buttered by the university will be able to say, no, this is not right. We can't go this way. It doesn't follow. Also, there's a proverb that I learned from my father. He said, a man that travels widely is better than a person that sits down there, even if his age is 150 years. And what does that mean? Exposure is key. Being exposed to an organization like Kezo and several other companies he has managed is necessary. One of the greatest challenges of the university, FUTO, today is inbreeding. I learned about inbreeding when I went to FUTO as a council member, where you have your first degree from FUTO, second degree from FUTO, PhD from FUTO. So you are just moving around, and we all know first degree and master's degree is just an addition to what you already know. But when you are exposed, you bring something new, something fresh to the system. And that is why we need somebody from external body to come in and bring something fresh. And of course, you know, networking is beyond being inside the university. You need to network, not just within the university, but everywhere in the world. Again, you need someone that others will look up to. When you say, let's go, just like a game of Chelsea and Man U, they will go without asking questions. Apologies to those who are Arsenal and the rest of them, and Rangers football and the rest of them. I just use that as an example. I like good football. So somebody must be in a position that when he says, we're going this way, he will be able to look back and see those people standing with him. Not when he said, we are going there. By the time you turn back, you won't see anybody. So I think on that basis, I fully recommend that we'll have somebody like Andrew sacrifice for the interests of all of us in the FUTO University Council. Thank you.
Wow. These two elders got my head bigger than it's supposed to be. These two elders, you are feeding my soul. In fact, I was forced to open my WhatsApp page because I don't even know that some people decided to watch the interview from the window. A lot of persons are saying, when are we going to have the opportunity to approve their presence? In fact, a lot of things have been going on here. I was like, don't worry, they are here to serve you people. And we'll keep bringing them around to tap into their words of experience. In fact, one good thing I have come to realize about both of you since I came to know you in person is your love for the youth, your passion for future. It is something that every FUTOite should emulate. I am particularly touched by the words of Ndukwe, and I'm very much assured that the presentation is becoming stronger and the voice is becoming noticeable down to the university. There is one thing I just want to get a clarification about from Ndukwe. Now, if I am correct, if he successfully comes as the alumni representative, he made mention of understanding governance, politics, and dynamics. Do you think there is one or two you might need to let him know about, knowing that, or if there is need to further increase the number of representation from 1 to 2 to further give boost to certain visions and some of this agenda that he is having in mind coming to reality? Is there anything that could be done, or is there any advice that he could utilize that will help him navigate towards having inside support within the council as he moves ahead?
Okay, the first thing I will tell him if he gets in there is to be himself. And there will be a lot of banana peels. There will be threats. There will be all manner of intrigue. But once people know where you stand, they know exactly how to address you. And if your objective is to serve the university, it will be very clear. The danger sign is when people cannot relate what you say with your way of life or your actions. That's one. Number two is you must create time to read all those voluminous documents that must be sent. Because this is a university environment. You'll be surprised the volume of documents that you have to read before every meeting. That's that the professors know how to write. Also, there will be petitions. But before you respond, do your due diligence. Be careful, because all that glitters may not be gold. So these are some of the things, but I can assure him that once he's get into the council, I'll be willing to share my mistakes and my successes while I was in the council with him.
Wow, thank you so much. At this juncture, we'll take a last word from, since we still have Doc around, we'll take a last word from him, and we'll call this interview to a stop, because we've really had a very nice time. We'll definitely schedule something different from interview, maybe an interactive section, so that you see how the heart of FUTO are towards the two of you who have been doing everything possible to get the alumni to the best place you're supposed to be. So, sir, Doc, are you still here with us?
Yes, I'm here.
One last word from you so that we can wrap it up.
Well, I want to say thank you guys for organizing this. I leave all of us with one word: collaboration. And if you ask me for a second word, collaboration, and a third word, collaboration. No man is an island. In any environment that you find yourself, you have to collaborate and work with the people with you to be able to achieve results. Surely, you always have dissenting voices in any group of people. Sometimes all of you will be aligned, sometimes it might be not. But that's the nature of human beings. If everybody is seeing the same thing from the same perspective, then there's a problem. It means everybody, either we are all robots or we are all computers. But because we are human beings, we're brought up in different environments, we have different education, we have different exposures, we have different cultures. We are going to see it from a different perspective. But the ability for you to be able to harness the strengths of everybody positively to achieve what you want to achieve is really the most important thing. So thank you guys. Again, if I have the opportunity, I'll be going there with a very positive mindset to be able to work with everybody. And the idea will be to leave that place better off than when I met it, by the grace of God.
Thank you so much. At this juncture, I will say thank you to Dr. Andrew Ejayeriese and Sir Ndukwe Osogho Ajala, OON, founding fathers of the Alumni and the pioneer students of FUTO, who have been doing greatly both in their field of endeavor and back into the university. Once again, we thank you so much for this privilege. We have come to a closure for this interview. I thank IJ who tuned in from Germany for this special occasion. We actually contracted to ensure that we present this idea the way it's supposed to be, because that's how it has been from the memo we had about you too. So once again, thank you for coming around with us. At this juncture, we say thank you, and thank you. To every FUTOite who will come across this interview, you have seen the Brit, you have seen the machos, you have seen the intellectual capacity, you have seen those who have been working behind to ensure that your complaints are being handled professionally to give you lasting solution. All you can do, find your way on the convocation day and give them the endorsement, give them your present support so that they can be able to do more. Thank you so much, and God bless you for honoring this section. We can now take it off camera to further discuss and end in the next 2 minutes, if there is time. Thank you so much.